Everybody, this is your boy Shafferspeeks, man. Let's get right into The Flash, Season 6, Episode 8, The Last Temptation of Barry Allen, Part 2, the finale of the Bloodwork arc. And it's a bittersweet thing because Sunhill Murphy is really a great actor, man. He did a really great job portraying Ramsey in Bloodwork, man. It was a really great arc. I really enjoyed it. I'm sad to see him go. So much shit happens, man. And I love how this episode kind of correlates into a big message for Team Flash. This is basically Barry's way, I guess you could say in a very passive aggressive way. This was Barry's way of preparing his team for life without him, having to work together as a team, as they most definitely should be working as a team to stop the enemy, the common enemy of Central City. I mean, the first damn thing first, they all recovered from the injuries from last week's episode when Bloodwork first came through and the evil Flash was first, created and manifested. They all recovered from that, like I said. Cisco, he activates the Babel uh, technology, so then that way the Flash can't get in to start labs or anything like that. Iris receives a call to come over to the apartment, and against Cisco's, judgment, she goes anyway. Bloodwork tries to manipulate Iris into coming into her side. Of course, she refuses. She tries to get through to Barry. But, she's teleported back to Star Labs, and so that's when they start to try to formulate a plan to the best of their ability. Not to mention, the zombies are starting to attack the citizens of Central City. And, Cecile and Camila, they're all trapped down. The communications are down. And Cecile is, wrecked with fear because she's an empath. She can telepathically feel and vicariously live a person's, I guess you could say, mirror, a person's and all those people's emotions. They all those zombies, those blood zombies are completely mortified. They're afraid still, which means they're still human. They're just under a psychotic paralysis of really, when we think about it psychologically, psychologically, they're under a false sense of superiority. So they're still afraid as hell. Straight up. I mean, don't let anyone tell you guys anything damn different. And a lot of that gets through her. She's panicking, of course, but then Camila tells her, look, that's actually a good thing. That means that all the Bloodwork zombies are actually afraid, so they can use that against them. And, and that's what Cecile finally, she has an aha moment. But unfortunately, as Frost and Joe are keeping the Bloodwork zombies at bay, Joe gets bitten. And so they rush him to Star Labs trying to save his life. Kaylin teaches Frost to control herself under panic-stricken, situations like this one, for example. And that's when Frost, thanks Katie and tells her, look, you obviously need to take over for Crisis. And not to mention, after Barry sets himself free, after, Allegra hits the particle accelerator, because this is all Ramsey's big plan was to use the particle accelerator again, start it up against that way the blood virus can affect everyone. And so Allegra blasts the particle accelerator with the UV light and UV rays, and that actually works, and that gets Barry free from Bloodwork. Because literally Cisco had to let down all the Babel defenses of Star Labs to let they can defeat Bloodwork once and for all. And I love how this whole thing happened, man. It was so damn slick. And like I said, Barry was still helping them even under the control of Bloodwork. Like I said, they're under a guise of fear, or in this case, the Bloodwork zombies, where Barry was just still helping his team by telling them to go to the light, let the light in. And so that was Barry's way of teaching his team to how to defeat Bloodwork. Let him into Star Labs, and that's how you guys can defeat him. And that's what they did. Allegra hit him with the UV light and rays, with all that radiation, and they got Bloodwork out of Barry. And then I think it was so sweet how they defeated him. Barry used a projection of Ramsey's mother to actually defeat him. And that's why they put him in a MAC facility, and he's off to Argus custody. I hope he stays there, honestly, even though it saddens me to see his character go. But, obviously, when that's all over, Barry, all the team expressed their gratitude and love for Barry. And Barry expresses it as a universal thing for all the entire team. And that Iris tells them that their story is not over. And like I said, Barry likened that to the entire team. And then all of a sudden, Joe even tells, Barry that he's not going anywhere because Barry tries to give him his watch. And so that's when you see the red skies begin, which is the looming threat and answer and sign that the crisis is happening. And, then also Pariah, he's down in the tunnel. He's talking to the disembodied voice of the Monitor. And so Monitor plugs him in and says, "Look, man, I'll give you all the knowledge you desire if you just come by my side." And at first, Nash refuses, of course, but then he's attacked by Bloodwork zombies, and then that's when he gives in and says, "Look, yes, I'll work alongside you." And that's when he becomes Pariah, and that's when you also see in the trailers. If you have not seen the trailers, that's why you see Jefferson Pierce Black Lightning attacking Pariah, because Pariah was there when Jeff's Earth and possibly his family was temporarily destroyed at the very beginning of the crisis. So I look forward to seeing what happens, man. This has been your boy Shafferspeeks. Let me know what you guys think about tonight's episode in the comment section below, as well as how do you guys think this season of The Flash is going to end? What are your Crisis on Infinite Earths theories? Let me know in the comment section below, man. This has been your boy Shafferspeeks. I love you guys. Peace and love.